reflections, glasses go off. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this extremely exciting video. This is a tag and this is a single eyeshadow collection tag. This was originally created by Zeyn, I think is how you pronounce her name. She is a YouTuber and I was tagged to do this tag by my friend Pia, and she's on Instagram as Imaginary Cosmetics and Pia Loves Color. And this seems to be the perfect tag for me because it's all about talking about your single eyeshadow collection. And yeah, I just, when I was tagged in, I'm like, I'm doing this. This is like perfect. One thing I want to say is this face is brought to you by your guys' super nice comments on Instagram. I put out a stories asking if I would be a bad YouTuber if I showed up without makeup in a video, because I have been having bad headaches again, and now I'm feeling okay. I went outside, I went for a walk in the woods to just try to get my headache away, and now I'm feeling a bit better, so I thought I'll film. But I didn't want to wear full face of makeup, so I have mascara and a lipstick. That's all, but I thought the lipstick is enough to distract you. I have a bright sweater on, so maybe that's enough to distract everybody from my face. So let's get into this tag. I am so excited. I took out all of my single eyeshadows and yeah, let's get into it. Okay, I have the questions right here on my tablet, and let's start with the first question. Do you prefer buying single eyeshadows or palettes? And I have to say, for sure, single eyeshadows. Single eyeshadows are a lot of fun. They feel like collectibles to me, and that is also maybe the problem with them that I have, is that I gotta catch them all. It's worse than Pokemon. I have to have them all. And we'll go through my collection later, and you'll see that that is an issue if you talk about having too many things. I love single eyeshadows because you can really pick and choose the colors you want, and you can then reassemble them in color stories and palettes that you want. So I also love traveling with single eyeshadows, especially I make my own little travel palette and I just take with me the shades that I feel like I want to use. Also, it is a really useful when I want to create colorful looks. I just go to my collection, pick and choose what shades I want to use, put them in a small palette, and I have it in front of me. So I definitely prefer buying single eyeshadows to palettes. On the other hand, there have been points in my life in which I was uninspired, and my single eyeshadow collection was just sitting there very organized, and I couldn't get anything new out of it or any nice looks. So what I then started doing is actually buy palettes, and then there was a whole period in which I sold all my palettes and I only had singles because that was all I was using. And now I'm again buying palettes and filling in here and there holes in my collection of singles. The holes are not many, so I am actually slowing down, but it is actually more of a collector's thing now. You'll see that I have almost all Makeup Geek eyeshadows and I have a lot of Colourpop eyeshadows, and I feel like I want to have them all, which is a problem because I don't use them all. So I'll also show you one that, for example, will not make it into the collection, but I will have to declutter. So that is a little bit my answer for the first question. Second question, when did you start buying single eyeshadows and what got you into them? So for me, I actually bought single eyeshadows almost from the get-go when I started doing my makeup more consistently. I remember watching in 2013 Nicole Guerrero, Marlena from Makeup Geek on YouTube, and Jaclyn Hill, and they were all using Makeup Geek eyeshadows. So my first ever single eyeshadows were Makeup Geek, and I started my collection from there. I started buying 6 at a time, and now I have too many of them. But yeah, those were my first single eyeshadows. I think the second were Nabla, and that was 2014, maybe 2015. And then after that, we went a bit crazy with the rest of the brands. And living in the US, it was a bit easier for me to get stuff 2 years ago. So that has helped. And that's how I got into buying single eyeshadows. Then question number 3. What are your favorite brands and formulas of single eyeshadows? It is no secret that Makeup Geek makes my favorite single eyeshadow formula, and the reason for it is that they are bulletproof. They are very, very easy to use. They blend well every single time. You don't have to take special attention to work with the shadows. And I think that's the most important thing to me, because on a daily basis, I just want to have something that works. And instead, if I'm creating special looks or like more creative things for challenges, then I'm okay with working a little bit harder to get the look the look that I want from a specific color on a specific formula. Whereas if I just want to be able to get out of the house and have a nice eye look, Makeup Geek is my favorite formula. Runner-up is the ColourPop formulas, both for mattes and shimmers. Oh, and I didn't mention for Makeup Geek, definitely their foiled shimmers over any other. I love Makeup Geek mattes and foiled. Their regular shimmers you can skip, in my opinion. For ColourPop, I love their mattes. I think they are really, really good formula. And shimmers, they have different formulas, and it's very difficult to pick out which is which. Now in their build your own palette section of the website, they have them divided in mattes, shimmers, metallic. I can't remember all the categories, but one of those categories contains the best shimmer eyeshadows from ColourPop, and those are Glass Bowl, Tea Party, some of the new ones. I have a full review of the new 24, the latest 24 that they brought out this year, and I will link it in the cards, because there I describe all the different formulas that as I experienced them when writing that or when preparing for that review. And then what I've been loving are the Nabla Velvet mattes. So not their regular mattes, that was their old formula, but their new Velvet mattes that came out last year. A few of them are really, really my favorites, but especially Cinnamon and Pitch Black are really, really great. So those are my favorite formulas that I can think of off the top of my head. I think so. Those are my go-tos, and anything I do usually contains those. Okay, the next question is really, really hard. It is, if you could only pick 3 singles as the crown jewels of your collection, what would they be? Now, this is super hard. I have a ton of singles and I love a lot of them. So actually it would be easier for me to create a 30-pan palette with my favorites. However, I have picked 3 and there's different reasons for it. One, as I mentioned before, is Nabla Cosmetics Cinnamon. Cinnamon is this perfect, warm, mid-toned brown that blends like a dream, and I've used it a lot as a one eyeshadow look. Just put it all over the lid, blending it out, done. Really, really beautiful, really, really blendable. I love it. It's a great, great shade. The second one is one of the eyeshadow I have used at my wedding, and it is Makeup Geek Grandstand. Unfortunately, mine had an accident, so it flew when I dropped the palette a little while ago, so I repressed it, and that's why it looks a bit weird compared to the usual texture of the Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadows. It is a foiled eyeshadow, and it is so perfect. It is not too light, it's not a highlight shade, it's a lid shade, and it has a little bit of bronze, a little bit of rose gold. It's a rose gold, I would say. It's just so beautiful. When I was trying out makeup for my wedding, because I did my own wedding, I'll link the video where I show you what I did in the cards. But when I was doing my own wedding makeup, I was looking maybe gold, maybe more a champagne, but it was all too light and too stark of a contrast and not very natural looking. Of course, my makeup did not look natural. I had like dark burgundy eyeshadow on the outside, but the gradient looks so beautiful with this rose gold shade. And then another shade that I have just mentioned is Colourpop Glass Ball. And this has the most beautiful formula. It's quite glittery, it's quite duochromy, it has such a high impact. Look at that, it's just so beautiful. I love this eyeshadow. I don't use it as much as I should, but it's just so beautiful. And now I have eyeshadow on my fingers. But anyways, I could go on and on and on about crown jewels. I even have a little palette that are my like super special shades from Colourpop, where Glass Bowl comes from, and they're like all of these gorgeous, the most beautiful metallics they have. So yeah, I could go on and on about my favorite eyeshadow singles. Maybe I should just make a video about it at some point, but there's so many that it's so difficult, you guys. It's so difficult. Next question is, which brand's singles do you want to try in the future? And there's a few here. I have on my list, not new to try, but to buy, are Sugar Pill single eyeshadows. I have 3 or 4 right now, but I want more. They have the best bright matte formula that I really, really like, and yeah, I want more of those. Then I'd like to try Cleonda Cosmetics eyeshadows, and specifically their latest multi-chrome collection. The small tiny issue here is that they're like $20 each, the jeweled multi-chromes that I would like to try. And with tax and everything, I can't really justify the purchase, unfortunately. So I am holding off on those. And then the other brand I would like to try is Sydney Grace Cosmetics, and they also have beautiful eyeshadows and great reviews. So those are the brands I am looking to try. And of course, yeah, I just want to complete my collection of every other brand that I own, something like that. On my wish list right now, I have Sugar Pill Taco, as well, that's a matte white, as well as the newest releases from Lethal Cosmetics, which haven't released yet, but they are coming. And I saw them, and I think I like them and I want them. So that is what I am going to buy probably recently, in the near future, I mean. Then the next question is, what, if any, are some of your single shadow color gaps? And I have to say, I don't think I have color gaps. I don't have a lot of cool tone shadows, but I do have cool tone shadows. I don't have a lot of pinks, as we have seen when I was trying to dupe the Nabla Cosmetics Secret Palette in my last video. But I do have pinks, and yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have gaps. Last year I made quite a few Makeup Geek orders with their damaged eyeshadows that I also talked about on my blog, to fill in my purples. So I have a lot of purples. I filled in my grays, I filled in my cool tones, shadows that I didn't have a lot of. So I don't think I have holes in my collection. I don't think so. Is that scary? Probably. But you can take a look when I show you my whole collection. The next question is, how many single shadows do you have? If you have too many to count, give an estimate. And if you want to put a picture or a clip of your single shadow collection, that would be great. And you could also show off or mention your favorite palette to store singles in. I did some preparation for this video in my bullet journal, and I can tell you, I have 479 single eyeshadows. I can show them all to you now. I will actually set them up on the floor behind me and bring the camera down, because I think it's one of the best things to see someone's full eyeshadow collection, and it's very gratifying to see all of my babies together. So just hang on a second. Okay, so you're gonna have to pardon the light here, because it's evening and I cannot put the lights on here. But these are all my eyeshadow singles. You can see all of my ColourPop ones here. I have some Sugar Pill down there, Divina Cosmetics, Nabla are all of these. Lethal Cosmetics is there. Here are my Anastasia Beverly Hills. These are some that I made myself. More Divina Cosmetics. These are Inglot. These are all my Makeup Geek. And Neve Cosmetics. And I think that is it. Let me zoom you guys in. So yeah, here is my single eyeshadow collection. And we're back. I hope that was interesting for you guys to see. As you've seen, I have a lot of single eyeshadows, and maybe it's interesting if I break the 479 eyeshadows down. I have 140 Makeup Geek, 110 ColourPop, and 60 Nabla. Those are the most. And then the rest are more like 15, various different things. Things to mention is also I have palettes that I pressed myself. I have micas that I bought from TKB Trading when I was in the US, and I added binder and I made mixed the micas and I made shades myself. Those are also in here. I have a specific palette for them, and it's all of these guys, which I think the palette looks gorgeous. Maybe I should also dedicate a full month of using these. There's no mattes because I never cracked the how to make a matte eyeshadow course, but yeah. And then moving on to my favorite palettes to use. My favorite palette is this one here from Makeup Geek, which is empty. This is their Vault, I think. They also have a smaller version of this, but this one has a transparent lid, magnetic back, and it's very nice and sturdy. And this one is empty because I use it for travel. The only thing about this is that it's a bit expensive. So I think it's around $27, something like that. So I find it a bit expensive to buy to use for storage, but for traveling, first of all, it's beautiful, and then it's also very practical. It contains about 28 shadows, I believe, for rows of 7, and it's perfect for the amount that I need for travel. One would say it's a lot, but one would say that it's fine. Then you saw a lot of these extra large Z palettes, and as much as there was drama around the brand, I do really like them, mainly because they fit a lot of eyeshadows. Let me see if I can show you. These are Nabla eyeshadows, and they're the bigger pans, and these are regular 26 millimeters. So they fit a lot of eyeshadows. I think it's, what is it? 7 times 535, and then in here there's less, but that's because they're huge. And these are really nice size to store eyeshadows, and you can always see what's in them. Then because I have also a lot of eyeshadows, I also need bigger storage, and that is these Makeup Forever XL tins. I don't think you can buy them anymore. I think they discontinued them, and that is really sad. But I hold in these, I have 3 of them, and I hold my Makeup Geek collection. The problem is here, I cannot tell what is in here. So I have stickers on them. So the Sugar Pill stickers on my neutral palette. Then I have a little pink sticker for my pinks and purples and cool tones. Maybe I can show you. And that's these. And then I have 3 different stickers here telling me what color story is in here. So I have my yellows, my oranges, and my blues, and greens because they're a mixture of that. And this, I have to say, is my favorite palette of all. Let me see if I can get the balance right. This is my favorite palette of all for the color story and everything. And these are all Makeup Geek eyeshadows. Okay, I think we went through that question quite thoroughly. So let's move on. Question number 8, and the last question in this tag is, does your single eyeshadow collection lean towards a certain color family, or is one color family overrepresented? If so, what is it? Now, I took a picture of my collection with my phone to see what colors are overrepresented, and I don't know. I think I have a lot of everything. I have started doing monochromatic single eyeshadow collection videos. So I did a green and I did a blue so far, and I think I might do a yellow next, but yeah, I think there are a lot of eyeshadows in here that are colorful, which is nice, and there's a lot of eyeshadows in here that are neutrals, but as I can see, I've only have like 1, 2, 3 neutral palettes out of all of them, and a lot of color. So I'm not sure. Actually, maybe leave it down below what you think the overrepresented category was in my collection. I think it's quite varied. I think there's a lot of a lot. And maybe one day I'd like to change the arrangement so that they are per color, but I find that then it's really difficult for me to know what eyeshadow is which, and yeah, I think this works for now for me. So this was the single eyeshadow collection tag by Zeyn. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. I think the tag is brilliant. I loved doing it. Thank you so much, Pia, for tagging me. And I tag all of you guys who have single eyeshadows and who love single eyeshadows to answer this tag. Do it on Instagram like Pia did. Do it on YouTube like I did, and how Zeyn did. And just, yeah, answer the tag. It's fun to take a look at everybody's single eyeshadow collection. If you have any requests for any video on specific parts of my collection, please leave it down below. These are my favorite videos to film, and I'm actually now looking to do another monochromatic one, so I'll be very happy to oblige to any color you guys prefer. That said, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Apologies for my non-beauty bloggery makeup look, but I didn't feel like it, and I don't mind. This is my skin and I like it. I only have sunscreen on and I was outside, so it is what it is. And have a great day. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.